Hi, everybody. It's October 23rd, 2025, and this is the weekly Backdrop Dev meeting. We get together every week to talk about development priorities for Backdrop CMS. My name is Nate Lampton. I'm Quick Sketch on the internet, and I'm calling in from Oakland, California. I'm a core committer and technical lead for the Backdrop project. We've got a handful of folks joining today, and we'll go around the room and let everybody do some quick introductions. We'll start with Martin, and then we'll go to Justin. Oh, Kaiser.
Hi, I'm Martin Price, Yorkshire Pudding Around Backdrop, and I'm a backdrop developer in Northeast England.
Thanks, Martin. Justin Kaiser.
I'm Justin Kaiser. I am in Muncie, Indiana. I work for a nonprofit and I work with Drupal, Backdrop, WordPress, and some other things. And I do a lot of contrib stuff. So hanging out.
Thanks, Justin. Luke, and then Justin Christofferson.
I am Luke McCormick, sell ear on various things. I live near San Francisco in Martinez, California, and I am a web architect and analyst with a heavy focus on AI these days and a great love for Backdrop.
Thanks, Luke, and Justin.
Justin Christopherson in Denver, Colorado. I volunteer mostly with the infrastructure.
All right, thanks, everybody. That's our collection of participants for today. We've got a pretty light agenda for today. There hasn't been too much activity since the releases of Backdrop 132 the Backdrop of the release of Backdrop 131.2 and the release of Backdrop 132.1. Those came out a couple of weeks ago that were just bug fix releases, fixing some regressions that were in the latest minor version of Backdrop. So hasn't been movement on the issues that we last met and talked about, in particular the PHP-CS action on GitHub against the core repository not working. That's on my plate to get some movement there to make it so that our code validation starts working again on new pull requests. In the meantime, it's just not running, is my understanding. Let's see, there was some recent activity on an issue I'm very excited to see movement on. For the 133 milestone, it's possible that we may see some action on this very old issue supporting the multiple attribute on file elements, making it so you can upload more than one file at a time. This issue has been open since before Backdrop 1.0 was even released more than a decade ago. Doc Wilmot came in and started working on the pull request again recently. So this pull request is still the one where things are happening, even though he opened it in 2021. He recently made some test fixes in here just a couple weeks ago. So I'm sure that this needs some additional feedback. I left some feedback, looks like 4 years ago. But it would be great if other people want to put some eyeballs on that and try it out. That would be great. Olaf came in here and checked it out. Uploading multiple images in post works fine. That's great. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this issue come along. I think this is back when we did the survey, which has been a long time ago now. Yeah, that's number 4 in the list now of issues that haven't been resolved. And this poll was done a very long time ago, but still, it was a popular item back then, and it would just be really amazing to get that knocked off. We've also, I mean, the top 10 keeps changing here, but we've already knocked off like I think 5 or 6 of the top 10, and so obviously new items come into the top 10. So I'm optimistic about that. I would make for a really great thing for the next release of Backdrop 133. Okay.
We also need would we also need a kind of update hooked for the module HTML5 upload? Or is there the contrib module?
No, I think well, actually, I'm not quite sure. I think that module provides a different widget for the file
But-
upload fields. And so if you had it, nothing, I mean, you could
Right.
keep using it, but you
Okay.
just wouldn't need to anymore. That you could just switch it to the normal file upload widget. All right, next up, we've got this topic. We didn't have a dev meeting last week, so this is kind of catching up on things. Martin asked this question, and why don't I just turn it over to you, Martin, to frame the discussion?
Yeah, there's a few of us that sort of keep an eye on the forum and sort of get rid of spam posts and block spam users. But one thing we've seen recently is users register and every post, every comment that they make, and it always seems to be comments on other people's posts. It sounds like they're really knowledgeable about Backdrop and they're making comments like welcome to Backdrop as though they're part of the community. And then there's little clues in the post, like it will have emojis or it will have characters that you don't normally type in on the keyboard. So yeah, that's one, and it's yeah. So and some of these, it's like, well, I don't have time to go and check to see if it's right, but just looking at it, it looks like this person has just sort of come in and do it, and we can't quite work out why, other than trying to build up a reputation for an email. But and that's another one, that RL one. We've so we've seen a few of these where they just come in, post a few answers that appear to be entirely AI generated, and in some cases we then just don't see them again, and we've just kind of watched them. But it is a bit and we had one the other week where it was a comprehensive reply, but it mentioned it had Drupal at the top. So it clearly either been posted from somewhere else or AI generated. And so, yeah, it's we're not quite sure. And we've been having a bit of discussion within Zulip in the forum channel about what best way to do this. And there's one suggestion that we add a flag to say this is probably AI generated. The other thing is we would maybe have a bit of text to say, if you do post a solution from AI, please credit where you're getting it from, so that we've at least got an idea, and people who are genuinely, because it's perfectly reasonable that someone might look at the forum, think I've got a slight idea how to do that, plug something into AI, get a little script and post it back, and it's perfectly reasonable to do that, but I think just being honest about where things are, whether things are AI or not. And I know other places like Stack Overflow have had things where they've basically said no AI.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to work out what the best approach here is and what there's appetite to do.
Yeah, great question. Um, I don't know. Could go lots of ways. Do you know, is there, or does anyone know if there's a way to signal to spiders, at least, that something is AI generated, like a part of the page? I know that they're working on like watermarking images in a way that that's in their metadata, but I'm sure that there's something out there that says like, because what I'm where my head kind of is here
Mm.
is like it would be nice if something is almost entirely AI generated, if we could flag the post as being AI generated, put a little comment, on that post that says, in small text like this, comment in part or entirely AI generated. And then we could wrap it in the markup that says this is AI
Yeah,
generated, just so that because what we don't want to do is contribute to the degradation of
yeah,
content like for like future AI generation stuff by having bad stuff be in here. Um,
yeah.
and so maybe even so right now this form is super simple when they create a comment. I think it might be worth adding a checkbox for this post contains, AI generated content.
Are we thinking it's valid users accidentally using too much AI, or do you think it's malicious?
I'm not sure. I mean, some things that have made me very suspicious is a lot of these, they come across as being very knowledgeable, but then they just have like a very um almost sounds like a rant seem, and probably don't want to show email addresses, but as an admin of the forum I can see email addresses, and often they bear no relation to the handle, which sometimes is understandable, but also often the email address, they're always Gmail addresses, and they just appear like another randomly generated handle. um so it doesn't look like they are genuine users. And one thing that also makes me suspicious, sometimes they act like they're very knowledgeable about Backdrop, and sometimes even saying "Welcome to Backdrop." Um, but we've never seen them before in the community. We've not seen them, most times when some people on their journey, they will come and they will at least have some questions, or they'll want to share a site that they've done, or they'll have some questions, and then they'll be able to help other people. We don't normally see people being completely um, knowledgeable about things and being a brand new forum user. It wasn't something that we used to see at all.
Yeah, aren't I mean they're generally first time users, right? Does Loop have no reputation management at all? It seems like most of the users that we do want information to get through would have a history,
Yeah.
and it'd be nice to just flag anything that doesn't have a history as suspicious.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so I don't know what the best way of doing that. And obviously, Stack Overflow had a full kind of reputation system, and um, I don't know what the best approach for this in our forum is.
Yeah, I don't really know either. Because I also don't even know what their strategy is here. Like if they are
No.
trying to develop reputation, so even
Mm.
if we don't have a reputation scoring system, like maybe their intention is that they will initially, create useful responses, but then later they'll stuff it with spam,
Mhm.
like maybe this is
Oh.
just
Mhm.
their way of prepping for
Mm.
eventual spam.
And we have seen some types of spam where they first post a comment that doesn't have any links in, and that's the comment that goes out in the email notifications. Because if I spot a link in the email notification that looks dodgy, I can go straight in, mark it as spam, and unpublish it. But sometimes uh, they'll put a post that appears to be related to it and has no spam link in, and then they'll go and edit that comment and put a link in.
Yeah, I would I would suggest, at least for starters, that we make an issue under the forum GitHub
Mhm.
repository just to start discussing this so that it gets tracked outside of this meeting.
Yeah.
Because that's I mean, we already have the it's funny talking about the forum in the forum, but I guess that's kind of a typical thing to have happen. But there needs to be some action here, but it's not clear what it is. Because like my suggestion of like making a checkbox
Mm.
would, like, it'd be useful only if well, I'm not actually sure. Like I'm thinking about this, like trying to make it better for humans posting and for better for humans reading, right? But
Mm.
it's not clear that these posts are from humans.
No.
Yeah. So I posted something in the Zoom chat here, and I could put it in the forum.
Hmm.
Zulip does have restrictions you can put on new members. You can define someone as a new member, and they have restricted capabilities. Uh, I didn't see a convenient list of what those capabilities are, but I figure somewhere in there there's weapons that can be used to tame this a
Mm.
little bit.
Are are you saying for that we could re-implement, like model what Zulip has done? Because we're talking about the forum, not Zulip.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I thought we were talking about Zula. This is. Oh,
No.
yeah. All right,
No,
whole different
I
set of
don't
problems
think
then.
we generally see that I don't think we see that in the Zulip at all. We don't really get much spam
All right. Well,
in the Zulip, so but it does tend to be in the forum.
then perhaps a similar solution in the forum. I guess
Yeah,
maybe
yeah. What
what
is
you said,
Yeah.
I
Zulip
thought I
doing?
might have said.
Yeah.
I guess that actually becomes my actual suggestion.
Yeah. One forum that I'm a member of, and it was a bit obscure what the threshold was, but new members weren't able to post links in their comments, and I think it was something. It ended up being something like 50 posts or something like that, and I was suddenly able to post links. But it's obviously building up a reputation before you can do it. And I don't know how we would do that in the forum with we possibly need something custom to be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I don't do much coding, but I actually did write a few things like that 26 years ago. That did sort of reputation management to handle it at that time just impolite users, human users, but
Yeah.
same idea.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that even though it'll be from a different system, certainly if there's lessons we could learn from that, it would be useful. So I'll create an issue in the issue queue, and I'll tag you, Luke, and you can kind of share an idea about how these reputation things could work, because I think any ideas would be welcome as to how best we could do this.
Yeah, I mean none of it's secret. I mean it's the same thing
Mhm.
as like registering users, requiring an email confirmation and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just Googling around and trying to find something. There's this interesting suggestion here, AImetatag.org, which is better than nothing, like for starters, right? Data AI generated equals true. And then you could specify what tool was used theoretically in the markup. But yeah, I don't know if anything actually bothers with this, like as far as like spiders but yeah, this is just like one person's kind of desire for there to be some way to do it. But I mean, it seems like it's, yeah, it's something.
Well, I mean, sometimes these ideas then gain traction when lots of people think that's a good idea. I'll start doing that, and suddenly people start taking notice of it.
Yeah, it's interesting that when doing a Google search, the Google AI suggested this, which makes me think that it's like, by making even just a single website that provides the answer to a question that nobody has answered before, makes it so that everybody else will just read the AI responses and assume that it must come from a legitimate suggestion.
Yeah.
Without any actual discussion or standards process or anything. Yeah. Well, the intention is a good one. But yeah, it doesn't seem like at this point that there's any, I don't know. In a quick Google, there's no indication that this has been officially standardized, or as especially not in a way that prevents further regurgitation of AI content by AI spiders. Well, things to work on. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I had a suggestion.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Keep like the AI bots out. I can investigate using fail to ban, or maybe even like our Fastly service might be able to do some kind of protections. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
My suspicion is we'll have to use AI to battle AI, and in general, but that might be a good start at the
Some of these AI accounts, each post is from wildly different IP addresses, and some of them are from different but only slightly different IP addresses, as in they look to be from the same location, but they've got the slightly different end number. So it's not completely consistent. I don't think the site currently captures any information like, and it might be that Fastly will have this information, but it doesn't look like we currently capture anything like a user agent or anything like that when someone logs an account or so. But yeah, be interested if there is anything we can do. If there is any marker of an AI bot.
Sorry. There is a Drupal. I had mentioned this before on Zulip, but there is a Drupal project for fail to ban. that like checks the Drupal log, and like if there's so many failed attempts to authenticate, then it blocks the user kind of thing. And I was thinking about trying to port that to Backdrop,
Mm.
but that might be a worthy project that might
Mm.
be able to protect some of our apps. I don't know. I'm not sure how well it works with Drupal either, but it is available. Anyway, I thought I'd toss it out there, but
Mm.
someone
Yeah, I like your
wants.
suggestion. It is possible that if these are bots, that they're posting not just to our website, but to a bunch of other people's websites. And so using Fastly, they may have data on bot IP addresses that we can't really get from a single website source.
Mm.
And so if they know that one IP address is posting to 100,000 different websites with generated
Mm.
content, then they can identify something as malicious way before we can with only a single
Yeah.
website's worth of data.
We are able to check against Akismet, and so sometimes when there is spam, we'll see either this IP address as one of their IP addresses has been associated with spam, or the email address has been associated with spam. And
Is
then we
that
can,
on the forum site?
yeah, it's on the forum. So it tends to be I think if you're an admin, you can go to the user account and you can you can click a button to check what their status is.
Hmm.
So
That's pretty great.
I need to create an issue because at the moment that it doesn't work completely. So on that form, it says you can unpublish or delete nodes and comments and block the user, but it doesn't actually work. So you still have to go and manually block the user and unpublish and delete comments.
Okay, so some more tools in our toolbox
Yeah.
to combat what may or may not be bot traffic.
Mm.
We just don't know. Yeah. Hmm. Well, maybe if they're not bots, then the suggestion of doing the checkbox really could be helpful. Just to
Yeah.
let people know, let humans know that comment isn't anything where it's coming from, that it's coming from somebody copy pasting. But I really just wish people wouldn't do that, period. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows that ChatGPT is out there, right? And if ChatGPT could answer the question, they would have just asked it. Right? So I don't know. I don't like I like the AI assisted answers for sure, right?
Hmm.
Where it's like a human
Yeah.
comes in and
Yeah.
asks AI and then they amend it with like, okay, but this isn't going to work because of that reason. That's truly
Mhm.
helpful. But people just copy pasting the
Yeah.
question into ChatGPT and then responding as the whole comment is not helpful.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on from that. Even though we don't have really any other topics for today, I just feel like we could
Oh,
go in circles for a while on that.
Yeah.
I think we do.
You
Unless
think
you've
we,
talked about them already. Is this the only thing you've talked about? Did you talk about anything else?
um, not much. HTML, 5 multiple upload, issue number 440 is seeing some traction, which is exciting. Just calling out that people want to take a look at that. Oh, and I forgot to do the contrib updates. Sorry, there's other things that I just overlooked that we normally do. So we had one new module come out called address field static map. I'm not totally sure what this module does. When on a content type that has an address field, this module can provide a Google static map or a JavaScript Google map. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes it so you can have a map on your address fields. Oh, that's great.
Sure.
Um, And a reminder that the Halloween lights module got an update recently, and since we're heading right into Halloween. And also just to call out that Wilbur created two articles actually for the Backdrop 132 release and 132.1, neither of which have been published yet. And so we
Yeah.
could use some editorial review on the blog posts that that he stubbed out for us to and get those things published.
There was a big discussion about this in Zulip and at office hours yesterday. These are both largely AI generated. There's some, compared to our previous blog posts, they're closer to release notes, right, than they are like a written blog note or blog. I'm a little bit of the opinion that while they're not what I wish they were, that they're better than nothing. Although I'm not sure if we need the minor, the bug fix release one or not.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think so.
I don't think we've done that before. And I don't know, maybe there's another way to do that. But anyways, I just was going to publish them, but then I thought, let's wait till after the dev meeting and see if anybody has any comments.
Okay. Well, we don't have any other topics today. It was really
Yes,
pretty
we do.
light.
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
Okay. What is it? What is it, Tim? Take the floor, please.
I just put it in chat. So it's issue 6987. My understanding is that this is a known issue that's really hard. But I'd like to, and so I don't know, fixing it is, quickly, RG Piano links, I think it's RG Piano links to some other issues. There, look at RG, go up. RG Piano's post right there, the third one, right after me. So he links to two other issues where this has been discussed quite a bit. So Nate, they might refresh your memory because you've probably seen this before.
Yep.
And I don't know if there is a good, maybe this is too hard and not worth fixing, but I want to talk about it because if in our case it actually caused kind of a serious problem, we couldn't save a node because of this problem, and there wasn't and we couldn't find a way to get out of, to save the node other than to use a module that RG Piano has created, which basically deletes all these extra fields. Basically, we had so many, this was we're using paragraphs, and we had a page that had like 10 different paragraphs, each of which looked like that one in that screenshot that's just about where you're at, right? With like, 15 or 20 empty body fields, and there's no way to delete those. And so if we can't fix the problem, can we make it easier to delete those, or do we need to push RG Piano's module into contrib, and so people can at least find it. So right now we were only able to get out of this problem by using a module in RG Piano's repo.
Is this specific to where CKEditor 5 or where the WYSIWYG is in place? Because it maybe what it's doing is saving a bunch of empty paragraph tags.
Well, okay, I have.
Or is this reproducible with a normal text area without CKEditor on it?
Oh, it's reproducible with a normal text area.
Okay.
Okay, I take it back. I don't know if WYSIWYG, it isn't just in paragraphs. It's also just a body field will reproduce the problem. In every case that I looked at, there was a WYSIWYG, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I wonder okay, so let's also frame this a little bit further just for the purposes of discussion, that in normal fields there is not a remove button because there are for like file uploads, but for text areas and text fields, if you leave the field blank, then it just gets removed on save and it doesn't count as an additional item.
Right.
And so the problem that we've historically had is that for any text area that also has a format on it, like HTML or basic HTML, what ends up happening or has happened in the past is that even if the text area is empty, there's a selection of a text format that is saved, and that counts as being content. And that can result in something that is an empty field still having a quote value because the value of the select list of the text format wants to be saved. And there's mechanisms in the field API to determine whether or not a field has an empty value or not, and whether or not it would get discarded. But as RGPiano notes, we tried to implement that once in the past, but field API's mechanism is not super reliable. Yeah. Okay. So, I see what's happening here. So I'm sorry. This is the first I've looked at this. The fix only works if the text field uses the default format
Right.
when you save it. And so what's happened here is that you've set up a different
Yes. It does.
text field that has not the default format, which is probably like basic. You set up test HTML.
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, and so it like on news sites, this is probably a fairly fringe problem. But this, like, so I thought, well, can we switch back to the default or whatever? But this was an upgraded site from Drupal 7. And so first of all, we've like changed the name of the text format. I tried well, in fact, I think we were using the website, the website that was having this problem, I think was essentially using the right text format, which we would consider the default today. But I don't know if somehow because it was a Drupal 7 upgrade, it's not treated as the default in Backdrop, or like one solution for this would have been if we could just trick Backdrop into thinking that we had the default because like again, if you're using the default text format, it's not a problem. So why can't I trick Backdrop into thinking I'm using the default text format?
Yeah, exactly. And I also wonder, I'm gonna have to reread this issue from years ago.
Sure.
That like, why is it important that we save a text format even if there's no value, right? Like that doesn't seem like that's useful anyway. Like if the text field is empty, even if there's a non-default text format selected, who cares, right? There's no value. And so there's no text. And so just if there's no text, it should be considered empty. And we don't care about the value of the text format at all, I don't think. So yeah, I need to understand why
Right.
that even, like, why the text format part of the value matters at all.
Right. I don't understand that, but anyways, I really wanted to talk about this, not because I hoped we could necessarily solve the underlying issue, but if we're not going to solve the underlying issue, can we at least have some way of mitigating this? If other, so at least 2 or 3 people have reported coming across this problem now. And again, in our case, it was the client reported to us that they were unable to save a node. Changes to a particular node, and this seems to be the problem. And once we used RGPiano's module and deleted all the extra text fields, we were able to save the node. So
Yeah, I like how RGPiano is just like
Yes.
making a contrib module solution. So he I also love the name of it, long text tribbles.
yes, I love it. Yes, but he would point that it's kind of a brute force solution and may not be, that may have some side effects. In our case, I think, the side effect of not using it was pretty bad. So we did, and it seems to work. I don't know if there's other possible problems.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Because I know that when we when we did this issue back in 2021, then it caused a regression, and I don't want to just
Mhm.
repeat the same mistake a second time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, but I would really like to understand why that matters. Let's see what, I mean, I don't want to do what this module does, where it's just like taking the, you know, he
Right.
says it's brute force, where it's like, you know, after the field system has done all of its job, then it's like right before it saves, it like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it then removes it. But
But
I do like that this solution exists, and I like that they fixed it now so that it works for paragraphs as well as nodes. So
right. So like my goal would be that at least if we actually look at this problem and say it's kind of fringe, it seems really hard to solve. Well, let's at least get this module into contrib so people can find it. Because right now,
oh, there's no releases. Yeah.
yeah, it's not even in contrib yet. It's in RGPianos.
Oh, yep.
So
Yeah.
and I think RGPiano offered to put it in contrib. So I'd at least like us to say, yeah, we feel like this might be the best solution to this for now. So let's get this into contrib. And I think he would be okay with that. We could put warnings on it or do whatever we need to do. But as much as I love the name, I don't know if there would be a better name to help people find it. But maybe people probably aren't going to find it by the name. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I believe that this is a solvable problem. I think we just need to put a little time into understand like fully like why it's happening and why
right.
we took the approach that we did the previous fix, and also check to see what kind of consequences that had previously. Yeah, the thing that makes me a little bit suspicious here is that this ability to limit text individual fields to individual text formats is probably newer than the issue that we had originally solved. So, oh, 5153 only last year. Well, I'm just thinking that maybe like that we just didn't consider this particular use case, where there's not just all text formats available, which used to be the previous behavior. Um, so if it's a non-default text format that is allowed in the field, I think that that might be one of the key things that we didn't take into consideration previously. Yeah, and RG Piano's comment down here, uh, you know, uh, you know, that saving empty values is considered normal. Yeah, I don't I don't agree with that. I think that that's an unexpected behavior.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, an RGPiano might be, I don't know, but it sounds to me like he might be implying that, which is that it doesn't necessarily make sense, but it is in fact normal, whether it should be or not. Um, again, like I would have like when we reported this problem, RGPiano said, "Hey, this is a known problem. It's really hard to solve." My initial gut reaction was, "Well, okay, it works with the default text editor. I'm pretty sure we can use the default text editor, so I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to switch my client back to the default text editor, and then we'll be fine, right? And we'll just, whatever." But that wasn't an option to us. It was a Drupal 7 upgrade, and we couldn't like switch back I don't know why. Like that part I don't quite understand, but like I and maybe somebody else has some insight to that. But if it were that easy to like work around it, then I wouldn't have even worried about it. But I'm kind of making an issue of it because it was like really hard to get out of this problem, on an existing client site. And other people might have that same thing. So if we can't solve the problem, at least make it easier to get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would in I mean, I would encourage our GPiano to, make that available.
Yep.
Although, in your particular scenario, you already know about the module.
Right.
And I don't know, like it exists, and if people do find this issue, which is well described, then they're going to find the module at least. But yeah, I don't know if I don't know, just putting it into contrib seems harmless. I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like
I don't know that
it's like a
anybody's
20-line module.
I don't know that anybody's against that. Our GPiano might have just been hesitating in case we could solve the problem, but
Yeah, and maybe
Yeah.
we can. I think that's also what I'm thinking.
okay.
Well, I'd like to close, but my Zoom application is locked up, so I unfortunately can't tell it to stop recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit it, and that might stop the recording or it might not. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody.
Okay.
And we'll have an awkward ending here. But stay tuned for the user group meeting after this. Is that right, Tim?
It is.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So thank you, everybody.
Okay. Goodbye.
Now he's frozen in space.
Okay, the rest of us are okay, just not him. But we're still getting his screen.
Yeah, I think it's probably still being streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
I hope that it stopped everything.
Nate's coming back.